Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, September 29, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a time for change call this Wednesday, October 1st, 2025, after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. One of the subjects we're going to cover is the good RV and the bad RV. I've talked about this over the last couple of years. There's two, okay, and that's not unusual because the opposing forces have to copy something that's good and make it in their favor. It's like they did with the Constitution, just like they've done with everything. Make sure you're in a comfortable position. Still as a statue. Relaxed into the body. Focused on your breath rising and falling and no outside distractions. The level of your success is limited only by your imagination. Now, when the imagination is compromised, well, how can that happen? Because of the training put forth onto this civilization and this species on this planet. So your imagination has limits, and it's very difficult to go beyond those limits. You know what I mean? Many people used to, a long time ago, we had no constraints on our imagination. But because of and I call it mind warping, is that how we perceive things, how we view, calculate, is a lot different than it used to be. We influence. We're influenced to call back the imagination because we start to doubt. We start to say, well, that's far-fetched, that's ridiculous, that's not going to work, this isn't going to work, what am I thinking about, right? And so it's poo-pooed. In a lot of cases, it keeps the civilization contained within certain boundaries. And anybody that steps outside of that veil and goes beyond that controlled imagination and into the unbounded, unlimited imagination, they are punished or eliminated. Okay? And does the civilization know that? No, not really. They do know that certain people have discovered information, and a lot of people come across information that really shakes them to their foundation because it's everything. It's the opposite of everything that they've been taught, and so they dive into it, they research it, and they come up with a whole new book of things that are spectacular and moving. So then they share it. They go out there and they share it with people. Most of the people are not receptive. But there's pockets of information scattered across the planet that they couldn't get rid of, or that they forgot, or they just couldn't get rid of it, and so they just kind of muffed it. And people are discovering that information, which they never thought would happen. What I mean is that lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies. And so what we have is kind of like an ongoing, deep-seated discovery, unearthing a lot of things that had we embraced it or been a know about it, everything would be totally different right now. Quantum medicine. I mean, it's totally the opposite of what our perception is of medicine. What is our perception of medicine? Allopathic. And more people in this country alone are finding out that allopathic is a lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies way to use the human body until it exhausts it for gain and control. Okay? Which doesn't make any sense. Which teaches everybody that our bodies are treated. They're treated. They aren't cured, they're treated. So our bodies are treated. Treatment. Right? And when things are in doubt, right? Cut it out. I got that from a retired surgeon who was going fast with Alzheimer's. A retired surgeon who said that they'd all get together and say that was a saying they would use: when in doubt, cut it out. And we look at things, and isn't it interesting how the civilization has accepted this Neanderthalic, I should say just antiquated, non-applicable application of medicine on the planet. It's like I was just reading, it's interesting, and the universe throws up things in front of you. But when you look at, and people don't research this, and they should, you have incandescent light bulbs, which we've had for years and years and years. And then you have LED light bulbs, which are front and center. What's the difference? Why do they keep trying to ban incandescent, the ones that we grew up with, the incandescent light bulbs? What's the difference? Well, the incandescents are healing for the body, believe it or not. They're healing for the body. LEDs are bad for the body. So why do you think they're doing everything they can to ban incandescents? Remember Trump in his first run said, let's start get those bulbs out, period. The incandescents, start making them again, get rid of those LEDs. And isn't it funny how we have been conditioned so easily to think that the LEDs are better for you, better light. Okay? And they're the opposite. So, you look at, if you look at cars, a lot of the cars today have LEDs in them for lighting. Bad for you, bad for your health, bad for your brain. But people, they accept it. No, it's a lot brighter, right? Oh, and then they can have gold tones, and it makes it look like incandescents. But incandescents emit a frequency, a light frequency, that helps heal the body. It's a light frequency. And no one would have known that, right? So they got to get rid of that. They got to get rid of the incandescent bulbs and force you or to trick you into using, the LEDs are a lot better, last longer. Right? And now you can get shades and tones and everything. But still LED. Light emitting diode. That's all it is. And what's incandescent? Well, incandescent, as we know, there's a wire that is electrically charged that lights up, and that's love. Now, you know that they can make that wire a lot stronger. And an incandescent could last 10 years. Isn't that wild? But they don't, because they want people to, they want to exhaust them and people to buy more. That's the status of this planet. You've got to make things that don't last so that people will buy more. And it's crazy, but that's how it's designed. So you get something, right? Doesn't matter what it is. You get something. It's new, it's great, and everything. But then it wears out, and you got to buy something. You got to buy something else. It's your clothing, your shoes, everything. Your cars, your trucks, everything wears out, and you got to buy a new one. And what would happen, just for giggles, if we had things that didn't wear out? It'd be interesting to see what would happen. Mm-hmm. You have tires on a vehicle, they don't wear out. They don't wear. They're made out of petroleum. They aren't petroleum-based. They aren't polluting. And they just run, and you just drive. You have 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, a million miles on them. They don't ever wear. And it's made out of material that is organic. In other words, it's good for the ecosystem, good for the environment. You make things that doesn't make sense that we have things that heal your body. Doesn't that make sense? Heal organs, heal tissues, everything. So we have things that heal the body. We wouldn't see. Eventually, we won't even touch things unless they heal the body. Because we look at something that we're going to eat, and we find out that it tastes good, right? It tastes wonderful, and it looks good, and it smells good. So we eat it. But what the crucial element is we don't really think about, what is it? What am I putting into this body of mine? And what is it doing? Okay? But when you think and believe and you realize through knowledge base, you say, okay, this isn't good, so I'm not going to even touch it. I will create things that taste good, that look good and smell good, but are really healthy for my body. And that should be across the board. Clothes should be healthy for the body. Not because they look good, right? But because they are good for the body. It's everything. See how we have been trained in the opposite direction. Reckless abandon. And because of that, our food supply is tainted. Our clothing supply is tainted. Everything's tainted. Because we weren't focused on the key element. What are we putting in our bodies? What are we putting on our bodies? How are we treating our bodies? What's in this stuff? Now, here's a question to pose to yourself. Do I love this body I am in? If so, how have I been treating this body in this life? You can only throw so much at it, and then things just start saying, "Yeah, I can't do this anymore. You're going to have to help here." Okay. Most of us ignore it unless it becomes very apparent, because the body never lies, and it keeps us. See, it allows us to maneuver in this material physical life, doesn't it? It should be the number one priority. Well, when you look at the civilization, you realize that it isn't the number one priority. That life is sustainable, but not paid much attention to. Isn't that wild? It's a fact. I see it every day. feel it on this planet all the time. This is why we talk about certain subjects during these meditations. So when you go into quiet time, you reflect on whatever piece of information that hits with you. This isn't about judgment, self-evaluation, or anything like that. It's about knowledge and being highly motivated for that knowledge. And know the body, I mean inside and out. Know your body inside and out. Know it. Know how it's made up and how it operates. And I'm not talking about allopathic med school. I'm talking about your knowledge of your body. How does it operate? How does it function? What happens when things go haywire? You're going to see this more and more. I'm not talking about fanaticism. I'm not talking about people that are obsessed, overly so. I'm talking about people that are aware that, hey, I want to stay around. I got to pay attention to this body. I can't just keep throwing things in it and expect it to handle everything. And then one might say, well, what if your body's immortal? Then you can just forget about it. You don't have to worry about it. No, you want to pay attention. You want to know. The planet is moving, the civilization is moving away from reckless abandon and deeper into self-awareness. Now, in the beginning of any truly awesome adventure in life, we first need a reason or motivation for going. We need a desire to move us forward no matter what challenges or obstacles may come our way. And to find this enlightenment, this manifesting energy source within you, is like finding a secret palace way up in the mountains, made entirely of gold. Now we know that there is every possibility on this journey that we will be stopped, feel blocked, and become deeply distracted by something more appealing along the way. Hey, look at this over here. I'm going to go over here. It is a great chance that we will be enticed with seeing something so seductive and exciting that we may forget that the Golden Palace existed at all. It was just some far-off fantasy. Call off our entire search to find it. To gather up motivation, energy, and discipline for this 52-mile mountainous adventure on foot, you first need to dive deep inside yourself. Ask for real guidance. Where does the guidance come from? Within you, not outside. And when you start doing this, you start right now with looking within and asking to meet with your unstoppable true nature. That's only if you wish to discover a truly magical life that you love. And the first destination is to go deep, deep, deep within you. And to find that which does not die. You're the God within that body. Because that's the only thing that does not die. Now, it's an actual journey into the core of your being. Goes all the way to the soul and into the soul to the God. To many, it may seem impossible since you are already there in some way. Yet, it is the discovery that always continues to reveal itself in a new, outrageous way. The finding of your deepest inner truth, your authentic self, and your real true nature is one that you'll cherish for lifetime. Now, when we find our greatest potentiality, every other goal in this life seems pale in comparison. This adventure into the core of you, where you will reveal your soul's unlimited energy, is the same place you'll discover the divine power to reap the harvest of your life's greatest dreams. Once we get it down, finitely, across the board, everything you see is the result of your thoughts. There is no exception to this fact, of Course in Miracles. Everything you see is the result of your thoughts. Like I've said, everything. It's like you set the intention right now to dive deeper into your innermost core this week. And that each day you'll be going deeper than you've ever gone before. You will need to know and trust that you can truly relax and be quiet enough to find it. It is the energy of trust that is essential for your highest experience of existence. Totally trusting the process of relaxation and letting go of resistance to it is absolutely necessary. It is that free soul who has unlimited perceptions about reality and no limits on what is actually possible and impossible. This type of mind has to trust existence to survive. To access the most magical foundation within your being, you simply need to do the easiest thing in this world. Relax and become very, very, very still. You'll need to let go of all your efforting and just do nothing. Now, you may think you need to hold your mind still in such a way that it no longer is moving at all. Yet this may only make the mind more jumpy. And when you simply practice letting go, letting everything in this universe be exactly the way it is, you'll feel a subtle calm sensation in your heart. And something will tell you that everything is perfectly okay. And eventually, the mind will relax and find peace, which will allow you to rest and fall into the innermost core of your being. Join you in meditation. I'll return to close this out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Focused on your breath rising and falling, relaxed into the body. Dive all the way in. Explore going down to the bottom of your deepest, darkest trench and muck inside. There will you discover that which will lead you deeper to your core. Just for 5 minutes sometime today. Hang out with your dark stuff. Get to know it. It is vibration. Being with the contracted parts of yourself assists in you in knowing what it is you are to transcend. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. We'll return here Tuesday, September 30, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on within you or outside of you. Open your heart. Allow the magic to flow in.